Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and today I'm going to be talking about what Tom Pelissero said, where a lot of people in league circles think that Adam Peters is going to take JJ McCarthy at number 2 overall, and I'll talk about if I believe this report or is it just a smokescreen. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Alright, and another draft rumor, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily love that, but it is what it is. You know, this is draft season. We're going to be talking about all these different draft rumors, but this one caught me by surprise a little bit when I first heard it. But then you hear this other reporter say this other reporter say that. We're going to get into the rumors, and you guys saw real quick there was another one. Literally someone from that same panel, Mike Garafolo, saying something completely different than what Tom Pelissero says. So let's first break down what Tom Pelissero said. He says, when I've had conversations here, and I think he's at the owners meeting, with executives from other teams who know Adam Peters well, who know the situation well, the most popular answer for what they do at 2, sorry, voice crack there, for 2 is JJ McCarthy. And that is something that we really haven't heard. So a little bit surprising there, and we're going to get into JJ McCarthy in a second. I made a whole video about it last week as well, but not something that I want as a Commanders fan at 2. Give me Drake May or Jaden Daniels or, Caleb Williams if he fell to 2, but that's not going to happen. Caleb Williams is going 1. I would love, I would be happy with Drake May or Jaden Daniels at 2. If JJ McCarthy's our pick at number 2, I will not be very happy. And one thing I will say is the 49ers, and yes, Adam Peters was not the GM back in, 2021, when they traded Trey Lance, or traded up for Trey Lance before the draft and then drafted, I guess they traded up for the, rights to the number 2 or number 3 overall pick, and they drafted Trey Lance, but no one really knew what they were going to do. And yeah, he wasn't the GM, so he's not necessarily the one keeping quiet, but he probably knew what they were going to do, and he's probably going to try to operate similar to what the 49ers did. And basically no one knew what they were going to do, if they're going to draft Mac Jones. A lot of people thought that. I didn't think they should, but I thought they were. It's, especially after like Adam Schefter was saying they're going to draft them. Basically, that's what he was saying. And some people thought it was going to be Trey Lance. Some people thought it was Justin Fields, but most people thought it was going to be Mac Jones or Trey Lance. It was Trey Lance, and I think that's going to be the same thing here with Washington. I think it's going to be, 40% of people think it's going to be Jaden Daniels, 40% think it's going to be Drake May, and then the rest, like the 20% that's left over, is going to be a combination of Caleb, which very low chance, and then now JJ McCarthy. I feel like it's a very similar situation to last year. And, some people think that JJ McCarthy fits the offense well, and that could make sense. He's there, even though, Adam Peters and them might keep things quiet. He's asking these executives what they think Peters will do, knowing how, people that know him well, maybe what he likes in a quarterback. So there could be some merit to this, but in the same day, you have Mike Garafolo saying when you pull the other teams here, they think that Washington is locking in on Jaden Daniels. So we really don't know what to think here when. Yeah, we're hearing completely different reports. Smoke screens for a reason. We are not going to know who the Washington Commanders take until they take them. It's really that simple. We knew in 2020 it was going to be Chase Young. There was really no doubt about it. The only question was if we were going to trade back, and we knew it's a good chance we weren't going to trade back. Now we're going to have to wait till draft day. And later on in the video, I'm going to get into a signing the Commanders made, beefing up the offensive line, some good depth there. It'll be quick, but I'll talk about that. Real quick on JJ McCarthy, though. We were at his pro day and had a lengthy dinner with him on Thursday. I think Adam Peters was there, and I'm assuming Lance Newmark, the assistant GM, Dan Quinn, and Cliff Kingsbury. That's been the contingent at the pro days, so I'm assuming they all had a good conversation together, which is, good to see. You want to know as much as you can about JJ McCarthy and all these other quarterbacks, see what they're about, and yeah, I'm fine with that. You look at JJ McCarthy. We'll do a brief overview because I did talk about him last week. 6'3", 202 pounds, passed for almost 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And let's keep in mind, won the national championship. He had a good team, but hey, starting quarterback on a national championship winning team, that's huge. 22-5 the year before, 5-2 the year before that. So has 2 full years of starting experience, and then assuming he played a game or two in 2021. And he's not super mobile, but he's not a statue. He can run a little bit. He can run a little bit for sure. And, again, he's got the good size you want in a quarterback, 6'3", 202 pounds. Maybe you like him to gain a little bit of weight there. I guess he did at the combine, 219 pounds. So that's 16 pounds up from what Michigan had him listed at. Height's a little bit lower, 6'2.5", but usually the college teams are going to give him a little bit extra there. And you see some of his strengths: plays with a chip on his shoulder, won't hesitate to slide and find new launch points when pressure builds, adequate ability to locate throwing windows. You guys can see really the rest there. Nothing crazy with J.J. McCarthy. You kind of know what you're going to get with him, and he might not be ready right away, but my thing is, if you're drafting quarterback at 2, they should be playing right away. They really should be playing right away. And if not, I don't see a reason to have a guy sit 4 games and then play him week. What's the reason for that? If you're going to have a guy and a team prepare the whole off season and then have Marcus Mariota start for the first 4 games, that doesn't work out, and then you just throw in J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, or Drake May, it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't, because you want to give those, that whoever that quarterback is, all the reps, he can get. So if you're not comfortable playing him week 1, don't play him for the entire season. I really think that should be the case, unless your quarterback gets injured, or if you want to do what the Chiefs did with Mahomes, play him the last couple games of the season, whatever, that's fine. But I think your quarterback should play, and if he's not ready to play, then maybe he shouldn't be the pick at number 2. That's my kind of thought process. I think, most of these guys, if they can play right away, and them sitting won't really affect the situation. For some of those guys, it does, and coaches hopefully will realize that, like they did, like Andy Reid did with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, again, I just don't think that we need to have these guys sit for the first 4 weeks of the season and then play week 5, week 6, throw them in there when things aren't going right. I do not agree with that at all. But let's just go ahead, look up Commanders right here just to get the tweet. 31 days to the draft, did a little mock draft there, as you guys can see. And Michael Dieter, the Commanders signed offensive lineman, left guard / tackle, I believe. He played, I think he's had 35 starts. I'm going to look at the right here, 5-year vet, 35 starts at left guard and center. So really just added depth, not a lock to make the roster. They've got a lot of backup guards and centers with, Ricky Stromberg in there as well. Doesn't necessarily bode well for him, and a guy like Chris Paul as well. But I'm sure Ricky's still going to be on the squad. 3rd-round pick from the year before, and did show some flashes in camp and stuff. So I think he'll definitely still be on the squad. But I mean, you got Tyler Biadasz as a starter, and they they signed Allegretti, the Chiefs left guard. So it's going to be hard for Ricky to start unless he really, really balls out in camp and, this offseason in general and the preseason. Maybe he'll start, but, they're beefing up the offensive line, getting some good depth in there. And, hey, you love to see that. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. And just keep in mind, a lot of different rumors here. I think they're all smoke screens. And I know some people are like, oh, then why are you posting? It just gives good discussion, topics to talk about. Okay, do I want to take J.J. McCarthy? And if I didn't make it clear, I don't want him at 2. I don't. I think he's a solid player, and he can be a solid quarterback. And in some classes, maybe he would be fine being the number 2 quarterback in this class. But I like Drake May and Jaden Daniels more than J.J. McCarthy. So yeah, thanks for watching, and peace.